They all love me.
Ken's building team is comprised of his wife and 2 kids who also share the workload. At the moment, Ken is undergoing a career change. An electrician by trade, he's getting his teaching credentials so he can teach science full-time. Unfortunately, his wife isn't always happy with his choice of lab assistants.
My wife was trying to curb some of my high voltage experiments.
She was glad when he started making robots with his friend Jim Evans. And their creation, Ill-Tempered Mutt, is one tough puppy. Ken has modified his 24-volt wheelchair motors to run at 36 volts. As a result, this robot is so fast, it's practically street legal. But what puts the real bite in this dog is its weapon, a spinning drum revolving at a devastating 2,000 RPM. It's an effective weapon, but it's also caused a few close calls. Here, for example, the weapon takes a bite out of the motor and sets the bot on fire.
Fire! Fire! Oh, God! Since then, I've built an armor casing to put around it with hardened steel to hopefully protect us from any type of impact.
Ken's making sure that his robot is thoroughly road tested, and once again, to his wife's dismay, he's got 2 willing volunteers to help him out. So with its coat of steel and souped-up electronics, Ill-Tempered Mutt has a great shot at being top dog.
We got a tough bot, and if you're not afraid of dogs, you will be when I'm done with you.
And his opponent, RTM, it's a twister. 7 saws twisting at 4,500 RPMs that will send his foe somewhere over the rainbow. It's the Wizard of Saws. Coming in at 209 pounds, the Wizard of Saws uses tank treads riveted with rubber and nylon webbing to increase traction. The 8-inch blades spin at 105 miles per hour at the carbide tip. Ouch! One run-in with this bot, and you'll know you're not in Kansas anymore.
And the man behind the curtain is Dave Northup.
The Wizard of Saws has courage, brains, and heart, but its favorite thing to do is to teach the other robots there's no place like home.
David is an engineer at Active Media, a high-tech robotics company located in low-tech Peterborough, New Hampshire. By day, he enjoys building gentle, slow-moving robots used for educational purposes.
I'm getting paid for my hobby, and it's great.
But at night, Dr. Jekyll becomes Mr. Hyde, and he creates robots with far more sinister intentions. David and his team built the Wizard of Saws for one purpose only: total destruction. It all begins with the Wizard of Saws motors.
Our drivetrain consists of 2 EV Warriors per side, giving us about 4 horsepower total peak.
The power from these motors is transferred to 4 custom-built treads that wrap all the way around the robot.
Essentially, the entire robot is the drivetrain.
To give the treads their superior traction, David and company made ingenious use of an unusual source material: garden hose.
We use the garden hose in little pieces to attach to the chain, which actually gives us some shock absorption and some traction.
But what gives the robot its real bite is this: a mouthful of 7, count them, 7 spinning saw blades. Designed to cut metal, the carbide tip blades spin at 4,500 RPM, the tips reaching speeds of over 100 miles an hour. The Wizard of Saws is one dangerous bot.
This is what the robot can do to human flesh.
So dangerous, in fact, it nearly sawed off one of David's fingers. But David isn't holding a grudge against his creation. With his finger on the mend, he's ready to inflict some serious pain on the competition.
I'm really looking forward to, seeing some sparks fly.
A couple of tough guys, huh? Well, this ought to take care of them. We call it the Gauntlet, and it's designed to separate the men robots from the little boy robots.
And here's how it works. 2 bots start here, then drive around the course in opposite directions. Along the way, they must smash through 4 increasingly difficult walls made of wood, cans, bricks, and finally, cement blocks. 10 points are awarded for each obstacle cleared.
But it doesn't stop there. Oh, no.
They got to get past each other, then travel down the opposite side of the track, heading back to the starting line. They score 5 points for each rubble pile passed. The first bot to make it up the ramp to the center arena gets 10 points. The second gets 5. Break all the glass and the final wall slides down, bust through it, and 15 points are yours.
Let's go down to Dan on the floor.
Amit, one of the great things about Robotica is that the builders have to design with a variety of challenges in mind. The ramp is a significant obstacle in the gauntlet because it presents competing demands. Low ground clearance, which is the very thing that will help you through the bricks and cans, will prevent you from getting up the ramp. Look for robots that get behind in this event to catch up while their opponent struggles to ascend the ramp. Back to you.
Thanks, Dan. In this competition, Ken Benner's ill-tempered mutt will be racing up the left side of the track, and Dave Northup's Wizard of Saws will be twisting up the right.
Everyone's in position. It's gauntlet time.
Robots ready.
And here we go. The Wizard of Saws is through the woods and the cans. Great shot from the Wizard can. He's got a little pile going. And whoa, he gets a big air. Wizard of Saws fighting with those cans. Sweet. Ill-tempered mutt around turn 1, through the bricks and the blocks. He's at the halfway point. Lining up, he steals the blocks from the Wizard. Wizard of Saws still stuck in the cans, and ill-tempered mutt taking advantage and stealing the bricks from the Wizard. Oh! He crawls right on top of ill-tempered mutt. Ill-tempered not waiting around to play with the Wizard. Ken Benner knows this game is won on points.
Amit, because the Wizard of Saws has no plow, he's forced to crawl over every single obstacle, and that's what's slowing him down.
I feel for him, Dan. They can't seem to get the Wizard in the right direction. And already ill-tempered mutt back in the starting area up the ramp, and he's breaking glass.
Amit, even though ill-tempered mutt has 4 wheels, he's essentially a 2-wheeled robot. Those 2 rear wheels are completely unpowered, but they do provide stability that most 2-wheeled bots lack. It's a really smart variation on the 2-wheel design.
I don't know what you're watching, Dan, but I'm watching glass break and 5 to go. Wizard of Saws, he's not giving up. He's at the halfway point and heading down the back stretch. Ill-tempered mutt, 4, 3, 2, one more. Nice. All right, final pain time, baby. Wizard of Saws working on the cans on the other side of the track. Ill-tempered mutt lining up the shot, and he takes it. Ill-tempered mutt through the glass and takes the points. The gauntlet is his.
Amit, you see the design difference. The mutt plows under, the Wizard climbs over, and the gauntlet favors the plow.
An ill-tempered mutt takes it.
Score there, it's ill-tempered mutt with 95 points over the Wizard of Saws with 40. All right, let's check in with Tanya, who's down with the winner.
Woo! All right, your bot is one of the smallest bots in the competition, but so much power. Where did that come from?
Just lots of engineering, put some good thought into it, and had some friends help us out with different ideas, and all just came together. It just worked out great.
What did you think was going to be your biggest strategy going into the gauntlet?
Well, we were just going to keep it even. We were going to try and take it easy and take our time and not jump all over the place. But if we figured we kept a steady pace, we could do it. And I just kind of went a little faster than a steady pace. It worked for me.
Okay, and I got to tell you, your driving skills were amazing. How the heck did you do that?
Practice, practice, practice. It's a lot of fun, and hey, it pays off.
Practice makes perfect. You guys, you pushed the other robot backwards. Was that intentional, or was it luck
Well,
of
we
the
had
draw?
actually talked about it. It happened to work out well for us. We had mentioned that if we got together in the same area, we couldn't pass. He had the ability to run over us, which would actually work to our advantage, because while he's on top, we just keep going, and he's going backwards, and it worked out perfect.
All right, very good. Here we go to round 2 of the competition. Woo! Good job for ill-tempered mutt.
Thank you. We look forward to further competition.
All right.
Coming up, Shenanigans and Mechacidal Maniac try their luck in the gauntlet. And later, the Labyrinth speaks its piece. Spikes, rollers, and flip ramps. No chicken robots allowed. Robotica gets more dangerous when we come back. How much more dangerous? Oh, I'd say danger times 10 to the 23rd or so. Robotica. Welcome back to Robotica. The Wizard of Saws hit the cans and almost took flight. He spent plenty of time trying to drive over them, but it was ill-tempered mutt that snuck right under his nose and on to victory.
It's time to meet our next set of competitors. Now, entering the arena, it's a toy story of robotic proportions. His 4-year-old daughter used to ride in it until she let her daddy play with it. Clear the streets for Shenanigans!
At 206 pounds, Shenanigans features 10 different motors, and only half go to the four-wheel drive and power steering. 2 others work the plow both up and down and side to side to knock competitors asunder from all angles. Another one extends and raises the dagger-like forks, and the final duo extend and spin the razor-sharp mass weapon.
And Shenanigans' arsenal is under the control of Thomas Rogers.
I named our robot Shenanigans. I named it after my daughter because, as its name suggests, it's got so many tricks up its sleeve you'll never know what's hitting you next.
Ever since he was a kid, Tom has been the Dr. Frankenstein of car builders.
This is a '69 Cougar station wagon. There's no such thing. What I did is I sawed the roof off another model and put it on this model.
Tom's homestead in Lake Peekskill, New York, doubles as an automotive graveyard.
Here's my pile of spare parts.
Tom also collects motorized toy trucks, like the one he souped up for his daughter Shannon.
In making it powerful enough to climb all of the hills around here, it also became fast enough and durable enough that she could outrun me.
The truck became so powerful, Tom decided to go one step further and turn it into a combat-ready robot.
It had to be massively reinforced. A lot of the wiring had to be upgraded. The weapons that were added to it had to be integrated into the existing truck.
Tom's top priority was arming Shenanigans to the teeth, like with this articulating plow driven by a power window motor from one of his old cars.
Follow the shaft up to the top. You've got more gears to make it go back and forth. And that's how I get the power angle out of it.
But this plow doesn't just push, it also bites. Thanks to a hidden pair of razor-sharp fangs.
Hopefully I can create a few flat tires with them.
To protect his robot's backside, Tom built a retractable spinning blade out of a car's disc brake rotor. In fact, Shenanigans boasts a total of 10 motors to keep it running.
We got a motor, you know, there's so many motors.
Tom's improvised engineering has created one monstrous robot truck hybrid. But just like Dr. Frankenstein, his creation has given him plenty of headaches.
As hard as I try to keep it simple, it's not.
And his opponent, make way for 210 pounds of metal insanity. Size does matter, people, and this robot's got it in every direction. It's Mechacidal Maniac. 4 feet square, this monster machine is run by 8 motors, 2 on each set of wheels, and when things get tight, Mechacidal Maniac's front and rear tires also pivot a full 180 degrees for 4-wheel steering. All those maneuvers are run by a single joystick with software interface for maximum control.
The head of this psych ward is Brian Neve.
The Mechacidal Maniac is so strong, so powerful, the competition doesn't have a chance. I should know. I built it and I can't even control it.
This man has a need for speed. An amateur ATV racer, Brian will stop at nothing to win.
On a competitive scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 15.
He also holds a black belt in karate and intends on chopping the competition to pieces with his ninja-like bot, Mechacidal Maniac. Like its builder, Mechacidal Maniac is not only powerful, it's also highly agile. That's because of this groundbreaking design, 4-wheel drive with 4-wheel steering, which means every single wheel turns 180 degrees.
What is revolutionary about my design, it's never been done in any robotics before, and I've talked to a few other builders and they say it's just too complex, you can't do it.
This nimble bot can drive forwards, backwards, and even sideways. The 48-volt motors run at a powerful 5,400 RPM.
One of the tricks that I'm going to have for this competition is I'm going to tell everybody that this whole robot, with all these motors and everything all over, is powered by this little tiny battery pack over here, when actually the whole back end of this robot from the top down is packed with 240 high-powered racing NiCad cells.
To test the power of this metal warrior, Brian challenged his 7-year-old son, Nicholas, to a game of chicken.
You'll never defeat me! Never! To put it all bluntly, this thing is the fastest robot you're going to see.
With confidence and technological innovation, Brian is poised to take on the competition.
We're going to come out #1.
In this competition, Thomas Rogers' Shenanigans will be trucking up the left side of the track, and Brian Neve's Mechacycle Maniac will be racing up the right.
4 tough walls, 4 rough rubble piles, tons of glass, and 2 mean robots. Throw them all together, shake them all around, and what do you get? We call it the Gauntlet, and it hates robots even more than the United Auto Workers.
What?
You know, the auto workers replaced by robots. Lost jobs.
The robots are ready. Let's go.
Robots ready.
And here we go. Mechacycle Maniac off the line a little late. That super wide body into the cans and stopped. Shenanigans lining up for the cans, and she's through. Heads through the sides. Smart move, not much debris to deal with. And she heads through the bricks the same way.
That's the smart approach, Amit. Minimize your own debris, leave part of the wall for your opponent.
Mechacycle Maniac still hung up on those cans, Dan.
Amit, he has no debris clearing mechanism at all. He must have counted on his incredible maneuverability and power to get him through.
None of that does you any good if your wheels aren't on the ground. Shenanigans through the blocks. She's at the halfway point. Mechacycle Maniac, you can sort of see that can underneath him. All that engineering stopped by a tin can. Shenanigans stealing walls now through the blocks and the bricks, and they meet at turn 3 for Shenanigans.
Amit, Mechacycle Maniac is an amazing 48 inches wide, the maximum allowable. Shenanigans may have no choice but to bump him free in order to pass.
She does bump him, and she does pass, but I don't see Mechacycle looking at all 3, Dan, doing donuts there. And now Shenanigans is back at the starting point.
Amit, you can see Shenanigans' automotive style steering there. The front wheels pivot. She's one of the few bots in the competition that has this feature. She doesn't allow for tight turns, but it should give her the maneuverability she needs up there on the platform.
And she is smashing the forest of glass. I love that truck. She is bad to the bone. Mechacycle Maniac can do nothing but watch as Shenanigans cleans up. And that's the last one. Here comes the final pain. And Shenanigans busts through. Thomas Rogers takes the gauntlet.
This was the view from Mechacycle Maniac as he crashed through the deadly cans. Once he hit them, that's where he stayed. This opened a very narrow door that Shenanigans squeezed right through.
And Shenanigans takes it. Here are the scores thus far. Shenanigans with 95 points over Mechacycle Maniac with 20. Tanya is on the floor with the win.
All right, here we have Team Shenanigan representing Shenanigan. Now we have a mom and pop team here, and this is Shannon. And Shannon, you actually, this is your little toy that you used to have until we converted it into a Shenanigan, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Like it.
You like it? Did you ride in it? What I really wanted to ask you, when you were coming around the corner, were you a little intimidated by the width of the other bot?
You know, there was only one place I could have passed him, and that was it. And I was overjoyed when I saw him parked there. I was thrilled. I said, yes, I can do it. I had no idea how I was going to pass him.
So were you trying to be careful not to jar him loose when you were passing him?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all. I saw a space and I just went for it.
I know.
I knew I would fit. I just went all out through that space. I knew it would fit.
Shenanigan is a very pretty looking robot, and that thing just plowed right through the gauntlet. Did you know that that was going to happen?
Yeah, it plows through rock walls, it plows through furniture, it breaks drywall. She drives it around the house and really wreaks havoc.
Any damage or repairs going into the pits? What do you think?
I saw a lot of smoke coming out of it at the end. I'd like to find out what the smoke was all about before my next heat.
Yep, go check them out, fix them up, get ready for the next round.
Yeah.
Good luck, you guys. Great job.
Thank you.
Woohoo! Shenanigans!
So after 2 gauntlets, it's Ill-Tempered Mutt leading the Wizard of Saws 95-40, while Shenanigans leads Mechacycle Maniac 95-20. When we come back, our radio-controlled Rambos take on the Labyrinth. And later, it's called the fight to the finish, and it always ends in tears. Itty-bitty robot tears.
Stay with us. Believe you me, you don't want to miss this. Robotica.
We're back with more Robotica.
And what a competition it's been. Thrills, chills, dead batteries everywhere. Robotica is hell.
All right, the scores look like this. It's Ill-Tempered Mutt leading the Wizard of Saws 95-40, while Shenanigans leads Mechacycle Maniac 95-20.
We're moments away from opening a can of Labyrinth on these guys. But first, let's join my man Dan Danknick down in the pits. Dan, how are things looking down there, man?
Well, let's just go and find out. Dave, if I was a betting man, I would put a lot of money on this robot in that last fight. It looked like you had some radio control problems out there. What happened?
Dan, I don't think there were radio control problems. I think what happened is the paint cans are getting underneath here, and since we have so much climbing ability, we just shoot right up. So instead of getting forward motion, we just translate that straight into vertical.
I see.
And we'd either have to try and crest and go over, or we'd have to back up and try and hit it a different way. So I think, you know, we're designed to climb a little bit too well.
So it was like trying to climb up a curb and not being able to go any further, so you back off, try a different angle,
yeah,
and sort of roll over it.
Exactly, exactly. We would eventually get over it, but you know, it didn't let us go forward as much as we wanted to.
Got it. All right. Well, let's see how your competitors did over here. Now, I've got to ask you guys a question. If you could settle your dog down for a second. The back wheels of your robot are undriven.
That's right.
So I just have to know, how do you get so much power out there with only 2 wheels of drive?
Well, what we've done is we've centered all of our weight on our 2 drive wheels. And what that does, that gives us just all of our energy with the 2 wheels, less friction. We can send all of the energy to 2 motors, allows us to concentrate our weight in armor and power. And boy, speed and weight, the kinetic energy speaks volumes.
Okay, well, hey, it worked.
It did.
You've proven the design is sound. Congratulations. That's about it here. Amit, back to you.
I don't want to scare the robots, but you gotta check this out. We called it the Labyrinth, and believe me, it's meaner than it looks.
Amit?
Yeah.
The robots can't hear you.
They could have ears, though. They might.
They don't.
Oh, well, in that case, here's how it works.
2 robots stand in this center section. When the game starts, the floor rotates until there are openings here and here. The robots have to time their exit so they don't get stopped before they start. Once they're in, all they have to do is break 6 glass walls. If only it were that easy. 6 tough challenges guard those walls, and the tougher the challenge, the greater the points. Let's start off with the 15-point obstacles. This 253-pound box and these stabbing spikes guard your prize. Push past these and you're 15 points richer. Next, for besting the suspension bridge before it shakes you or slipping past this pneumatic flip ramp before you take flight, you'll pick up 20 points. And finally, if you can make it through this sand trap or these cargo rollers before you're dead on your feet, you'll get 25 points. The tough part is, once you've broken the glass, you've got to go back the way you came to move on. Once all 6 windows have been broken, this door will unlock to reveal a 7th and final pane of glass. The first robot to break this one picks up an extra 30 points and ends the game. And that, my friends, is the Labyrinth. And just to make things a little more interesting, they won't be alone in there. They've got some company in the form of our Robotica rags.
These robotic rodents carry buzzsaws powerful enough to cut the wheels right out from under our competitors. And just in case you're worried about getting hit by flying debris, we've got you covered by these safety walls. They're a little added insurance. Let's go down to Dan Danknick, who's standing ringside, to find out more. Dan, between Ill-Tempered Mutt and Wizard of Saws, in your opinion, who has the advantage in this event?
Tanya, the Wizard of Saws has free reign over the obstacles in the labyrinth. Take the jump, for instance. The chasm in the middle is an impediment to robots with small wheels, but the Wizard's tread design makes it possible for him to drive right over. Ill-Tempered Mutt has the speed to shoot over the jump, but the labyrinth is all about control. Ken Benner can't let this mutt run away if he's going to win it. Back to you.
You know what that sound means? There's only one thing left to do.
Robots ready.
Turntable moving. Ill-Tempered Mutt goes right after Wizard of Saws. A clash in the middle. Right on.
Amit, as long as the mutt stays close, he knows those saws can't get going fast enough to do any real damage.
Wizard of Saws stuck in the corner. Gets free. It looks like Ill-Tempered Mutt's just trying to get out now. Oh! Oh, there goes a piece of the Wizard. Nice.
It's a bad sign when your robot starts falling apart this early in the competition, Amit.
Ill-Tempered Mutt's looking for a way out, and he's clear. The Mutt is in the labyrinth. The Wizard of Saws waiting for an opening to come around again, and now he's out. Goes right after Ill-Tempered Mutt. Now we've got ourselves a standoff. The Wizard of Saws trying to stay in the way of Ill-Tempered Mutt.
This works to Ken Benner's advantage. Ill-Tempered Mutt had the lead coming into this event. The Wizard needs to get some points.
And the rats are out. The Wizard goes right after Mutt, but the Mutt breaks free. Is he going for points, or is Ken Benner content to keep the Wizard occupied with fighting? I hope we get some fighting. I want to see some sparks flying. Ah, nice shot of the Wizard Saws there. And now the Red Rat goes after Ill-Tempered Mutt. Through the saloon doors, and the Mutt is heading towards the rollers. Oh, some traction trouble for the Mutt, Dan.
Well, with only 2 powered wheels, the rollers are a treacherous obstacle for this robot.
He's through. He's at the post there. Lining up. And he takes it! Ill-tempered Mutt, 25 points.
The Mutt's been having those steering problems throughout this competition. From the turntable to the rollers, the two-wheel design is inherently more unstable.
The Wizard of Saw's coming to block the Mutt. He really wants to fight here, and I love him for that. Not sure what his strategy is, unless he's just trying to take the Mutt out. I recommend it. Those saws have not been effective against the Mutt so far, but both drivers are working those controls.
Ken Benner has extended his lead now. He's not in a hurry. His biggest concern should be protecting his robot.
Well, he's still smashing heads with the Wizard. He's not afraid of those saws at all. Taking them head on, a little back and forth there. You can just see those saws not cutting through the Mutt's armor. Now, I suspect that the Mutt's trying to get past and go for the box, but the Wizard, oh yeah, Wizard cuts him off, and now the Mutt turns around and heads the other direction. He's going for more points if he can get by that sinister gray rat. The Wizard just sitting there having trouble. Now the Mutt lines up for the bridge.
That back wheel is caught in the speed bump. He has to fight his way clear.
Yes, Dan, that's happening. But look at the Mutt's sweet paint job. It's got a face. There he goes over the bridge and breaks the glass. 20 points are his. The Wizard still not moving, not sure what he's trying to do. Back over the ramp. Oh, the Mutt over the top of the ramp, almost flips onto a side, Dan.
That would spell doom for the Mutt. He has no riding mechanism, so if he gets flipped, he's done for.
Back in control, heading for the spikes. Oh, got picked up by the spikes. Tries to work free and lifted back again. And now he's free. 15 more points for the Mutt. 3 obstacles left. The Wizard has done nothing to gain any ground in this competition. Ill-tempered Mutt waiting on the spikes, and Ken Benner rolls back across, no problem. And there's the siren. Now the Wizard's up against it. I don't see how he can get a win at this point. He's just trying to cause some trouble, and he's doing a good job of it. The Mutt's trying to get to the turntable, can't get around the Wizard. Ill-tempered Mutt tries to push him out of the way now, almost gets by, but hung up on those treads. The Wizard of Saws has proven to be quite an obstacle in this event, but that's all.
The Wizard's plan to take the Mutt out needed to happen early, but it took too long. Now this is just an act of desperation.
The gray rat's stuck behind the saloon doors there, and now Ken Benner expertly powers his bot past the Wizard and into the turntable. Nicely done. He's going right after the gates. One hit and he's through. There it is. Ken Benner has beaten the Labyrinth. He's moving on to the fight to the finish. He must be very happy with his puppy's performance.
The Wizard of Saws tried to keep Ill-Tempered Mutt from scoring points, but the dog saw through the Wizard's plan and turned his attention to breaking glass.
And Ill-Tempered Mutt takes it again. Yes! Here are the scores. It's Ill-Tempered Mutt with 90 points over the Wizard of Saws with 0. Let's go down to Tanya, who's standing by with the win.
Here we have Team K9 representing Ill-Tempered Mutt. Ken, what was your strategy going into this round?
Just try and kick some butt. We needed to break 3 panes to do it. All we had to do was break the 3 panes. We didn't even have to exit. And we did that and more. We did fantastic.
So it seemed like no matter what you did, the Wizard of Saws was in your way, trying to block you every corner, every turn.
Very good. They did a great job driving. They did.
They did.
They
were also a strong
a little annoying.
Were you ever concerned about these vicious saws coming right for your bot?
Not too much. It's pretty good steel in there, and just regular saw blades aren't going to do too much. You got to have a little more kinetic energy behind that.
And some parts of it you just whizzed right through. It looked like the speed bumps got a little bit tangled up there.
We got one of our non-drive wheels stuck in one of them, did a little bit of a circle a little bit, but hey, just back up a couple times, we're fine.
All right, congratulations, Ill-Tempered Mutt. Here we go. Finish!
Ill-Tempered Mutt beats the Wizard of Saws 185-40, and with 1 labyrinth to go, Shenanigans is ahead of Mechacytal Maniac 95-20. We've got a first competitor in the fight to the finish, but we're far from done. Stick around. Shenanigans and Mechacytal Maniac still have to take on the Labyrinth. Then later, the only way to advance to the Robotica Finals is to win the fight to the finish. Be the last man standing, and the glory's all yours. Robots never say die. Robotica. You're watching Robotica. Scores look like this. It's Shenanigans with 95 points over Mechacytal Maniac with 20.
Dan Dachnik is down in the pits with Shenanigans and Mechacytal Maniac.
Dan?
Thanks, Hamid. Brian, I've known you a long time, and I've got to say this looks like it's more suitable for exploring the surface of Mars, maybe than the Gauntlet out there.
Yeah, maybe I'll send it there.
You're going to send it to Mars.
Well, I put a lot of ground clearance on it, but I think it could have used a lot more. I blasted into the cans pretty hard, and I talked to some of the other competitors. They said, don't hit them too hard, you're going to get hung up. Well, I should have listened.
So the secret then is slowly going through the obstacles on the Gauntlet.
Well, I had enough clearance for the bricks and stuff, but the cans were just the right size to get under me and catch me.
Okay, well, I think the labyrinth is going to be your strong point, so I'm gunning for you on that one.
Well, let's hope for the best.
All right. We're here with Shenanigans, and I've got to ask you, this looks like an extension cord wired into the hood of this baby.
That's what it is. We used that on our job site years ago, but it wouldn't coil up. It was too thick, so I used it for robot parts.
So you basically used an ineffective extension cord to overcome the technical superiority of Mechacidal Maniac.
That and a bit more.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it took a lot of motors and a lot of batteries and a lot of switches.
Great. Well, I've got to say, this is the embodiment of what I would say is low-tech, high-concept.
Okay.
All right.
That's what we'll call it.
Well, we'll toss that back to you then, Amit.
It's time once again for the labyrinth. 2 robots, 6 nearly impossible challenges, and 7 panes of glass stand between our competitors and the fight to the finish. Points go like this: 15 points for the box and the spikes, 20 for the bridge and the flip ramp, and 25 for the sand and the cargo rollers. And to the robot that destroys the 7th pane of glass goes an extra 30 points.
Yeah, and don't forget about the rats. Take too much time or you stay in one place for too long and you are rat food.
Dan Danknick, what do you see happening between these 2 very different robots?
Amit, the sand pit poses 2 significant problems for Shenanigans. First, sand is abrasive. If it gets up into his driveline, it's going to cause real problems. Second, with Shenanigans' car-style steering, it's difficult to make turns in sharp corners, much less corners filled with sand. Mechacidal Maniac had steering problems of his own in the Gauntlet, but he has switched to tank-style steering for the Labyrinth, so he should have more control.
Thank you, Dan. Tom Rogers' Shenanigans pulls in on the right. Brian Neve's Mechacidal Maniac is driving on the left. Now, Mechacidal is pretty large. He had a little trouble pulling in. It should be kind of fun watching him try to get out.
Our robots are in place and ready for action. It's Robotica time.
Robots ready.
The labyrinth begins. Mechacidal Maniac going right after Shenanigans. She wasn't prepared for that, facing the other way. Mechacidal smashes her into the corner. She's looking for an exit and slips out. Oh, she hits and opens the rat gate. That's going to cause her some trouble. Here comes the gray rat right after. Mechacidal still trying to get out of the turntable, but that massive girth, just a hulking mass, impossible to pilot through that narrow straight.
Shenanigans with that automotive steering can't quite get turned around in that narrow alley.
The red rat giving her trouble, and she backs her way through the saloon doors. Mechacidal Maniac is out now. Square speed bumps now. He's at the spikes. Ooh! Hoisted by the spikes! Back down, he lines up the shot. Bam! 15 points. Shenanigans works over toward the sand. Thomas Rogers going for the big points. Shenanigans into the sand and not going anywhere. Why is the 4x4 stuck, Dan?
Well, it's more like a 0x0 right now with those traction problems. That was the danger area, and she went straight for it.
The red rat comes over, tries to add his 2 cents. Nothing doing. She's got one wheel on the platform, but that's not doing it. Mechacidal now, however, working toward the suspension bridge. Any smart thoughts on that, Dan?
Sure, Ahmed, and I'll speak slowly for you. His wheelbase is so wide, he's almost off the bridge, even if he drives straight.
Exactly what I was thinking. Smooth driving, though, and he's across the bridge. That's good for 20 points. 2 obstacles gone. Shenanigans still in the sand. Thomas Rogers can't seem to get anything working. Now he's putting the plow down. Let's see if this works. Brian Neve driving his robot very slowly back across the bridge. He's still far behind overall, and he can't afford to get stuck now. And he's back across safely. Gonna have to deal with the gray rat. Should be no problems. Shenanigans, her tires are digging her deeper and deeper into that sand, I'm afraid. Mechacidal past the square speed bumps and through the saloon doors.
And now, onto the big speed bumps. Where's he going? He's backing off now, going back through the saloon doors. Maybe he's going for the turntable. Oh, almost gets clipped by those spinning walls. Nice.
Amit Mechacidal can't be going for the exit already. He had 75 points to make up, and he's only gotten 35 so far. He needs at least one more obstacle before the final gates. His next move is crucial.
I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's going for the roller. Maybe he's going for the jump.
Well, if he is, he has to be careful with those small wheels. He needs a lot of speed here.
No problem clearing the jump. Sweet. The Maniac living up to his name in the labyrinth. And he's going for the box, Dan. He's hammering at it. Odin, grant him the strength. These points and the bonus paint should be enough. Shenanigans can't get moving. Mechacidal knocks the box clean out of the way. Mechacidal positions himself for the glass and bang! Right through for 15. Brian DeVay running around the course for a better view. Sweet! Shenanigans now. Looked like she got bumped free by the rat, but still going nowhere. Mechacidal Maniac bites off the red rat. He's going through the saloon doors. He may be heading for the exit, Dan.
It'll be a trick getting that wide body through the gates, but it would seal the victory.
There's the siren! Mechacidal Maniac hits the gates. He's on top of them, and he takes it! 30 points are his. That could be enough to squeak out a victory. Brian DeVay, what an amazing comeback.
Amit traction problems marooned Shenanigans in the sand, giving Mechacidal Maniac more than enough time to lumber through the challenges and take the labyrinth.
And Mechacidal Maniac is moving on to the fight to the finish. It's Mechacidal Maniac with 80 points over Shenanigans with an enormous 0. All right, let's check in with Tanya, who's down with the winner.
Okay, so here we have Brian DeVay, Mechacidal Maniac. What a great round of competition.
That was tough, really tough. Well, we put the Maniac on a little bit of mechanical Prozac, settled him down a little bit, went a little bit lower tech. We took away the steering and went back to tank steering on it. I have a little more experience steering that kind of robot, and paid off.
So what was the toughest obstacle in the labyrinth?
I don't know what getting out of the center was really tough for us.
I
It
agree.
seemed to be. We had a really hard time getting out of that middle.
That wall was really, really narrow for us. Once we got out, we could move around. Some of our welds busted of our temporary welding when we went back to low-tech steering.
We have to talk about the ramp. Were you nervous about that?
Yes, that was one of the things we were worried about, but we ended up not having a choice with the welds broken. The tires wouldn't stay straight on the rumble strips. So we had to chance the ramp, and luckily he has a turbo button. Can you tell me a little bit about that turbo button?
I've got it programmed to run 1/5 speed normally, and if I pull the trigger on the joystick, it goes to full speed.
Oh,
and we just launched
so that's
it over.
quite the secret you have there
Oh,
for
it's not a
Mechacidal
secret,
Maniac.
no.
And obviously, you did a great job, and it paid off. You guys are going to the fight to the finish.
Woo!
All right, congratulations. Good job.
Thank you.
This is it. Ill-Tempered Mutt and Mechacidal Maniac go head-to-head in an all-out battle. We've got our competitors for the fight to the finish. 2 robots enter, 1 robot leaves. When we come back, Robotica. Robotica is back. The smoke has cleared. We've got our finalists, and we're minutes away from finding a winner. Ill-Tempered Mutt marked his territory in the gauntlet, but when Ken Benner took his dog for a walk in the labyrinth, it was curtains for the wizard.
He was bested by a can in the gauntlet, but Mechacidal Maniac came back in the labyrinth and showed Shenanigans the door.
The mood in the pits was one of confidence for Ill-Tempered Mutt's team. They claimed only one thing got broken in the labyrinth.
Just glass. Lots of glass. It's a good thing.
Brian DeVay's Mechacidal Maniac, however, had real damage that needed immediate attention.
We lost a couple of welds, busted some things off. They were real quick welds. We lost these pieces here. We had welded on to hold our steering on because that steering wasn't working for anything.
The Maniac's 4-wheel steering has caused Brian a lot of problems, and the fight to the finish is not the place for him to be relearning his controls. With the Mutt swapping that tongue for a vicious spinning drum weapon, Mechacidal Maniac has to solve his steering problems now or learn how to run the other way. Amit?
We've eliminated the rest. Now we're left with the best. But only one can move on to the Robotica Finals. That's right, there can be only one. And to find him, we've devised a battle so brutal, it can only be called the fight to the finish. And here's how it works. Ill-Tempered Mutt and Mechacidal Maniac will enter that raised platform. They'll battle it out high above those razor-sharp spikes and raging torches. After 1 minute, the safety gates will drop. One bot will go bye-bye, and the last robot standing wins. Our robots are in position. Let's find a winner, everybody! Robot. Ken Benner and Brian Neve are in the skybox looking over their creations. Getting here was no big trick for ill-tempered Mutt. He's removed his V-shaped plow and attached a deadly spinning drum with beater bars. Mechacycle Maniac fought an uphill battle to get to this point. He's done all he can in the pits. It's time to put it all in the line. They're in the ring. The only way out now is straight down.
Robots ready.
Mechacycle charges right across, slams into the mud, and the mud has the drum spinning now. And Page and the Mechacycle go flying. Oh, the slacks and plates getting destroyed, and Mechacycle lifted up by Mutt's weapon. Oh, this is great. Mechacycle not moving now, dead in the water. Oh, the fight to the finish rules. The Maniac may have gotten some of his circuitry knocked loose. Looks like the Mutt is repositioning himself for some nasty vengeance. Ooh, what a dirty dog. Finish him. He's turning the drum off. Mechacycle Maniac had those Lexan plates for protection, but they got obliterated by that spinning drum that's now back on. There's Ken Benner. It's just a matter of time before he takes this. His opponent is still lifeless on the platform. The question is, how much pain does he want to inflict on the Maniac? The gates are down, baby. Oh, yeah! And it is over. The Mutt has decided that the Maniac must die. What a fabulous performance. What a vicious weapon Mechacycle Maniac gave over. Ken Benner is a very happy man, and he is going to the finals.
Good job.
Once ill-tempered Mutt set that spinning drum in motion, there was nothing Mechacycle Maniac could do but fall. It was an extremely effective weapon. Amit?
We're here with Ken Benner and Team K9. Now, you guys, that was the best fight to the finish that I personally have ever witnessed. There was shrapnel. There was a lot going on. Were you scared?
Oh, heck no. Ill-tempered Mutt's got teeth.
Now, your secret weapon was, I've never seen anything like it, and Mechacycle Maniac is so large. Were you afraid about the weight difference and the size
I was
difference?
concerned because we haven't really tried this on something full size yet. Our preliminary tests were smaller, and we finished the weapon so close to shooting, we weren't ready to risk our weapon on something large.
What do you call that weapon? What is it?
Dangerous.
That's it? It's just called dangerous? Can I put my hand in there?
Sure. Would you please?
Okay, well, I'd probably lose my fingers instantaneously, yeah?
That works for me.
What really is the secret weapon?
30 pounds of spinning steel running at about 2,500 RPM. Hungry for bot.
You're crazy, the both of you. Get out of here. Good luck, you guys. I'll see you at the finals. You guys rock. So, Team K9 moves on to the Robotica finals. Next time, 4 more robots put it all on the line for a shot at fame, fortune, and all the oil they can drink. That's it for Tanya Memi, Dan Danknick. I'm Amit Zappa. See you next time on Robotica.